rumble, no barking. So today's not gonna be a very funny video, as you can probably tell from the title. So if you're here for the sexualness, you can click away and I'll see you next week. Fucking disclaimer. But I wanted to make this video because it is probably one of the most requested videos I've ever gotten since I started on YouTube. And that is being yourself. I have in the past addressed some of this, but I've never dedicated an entire video to just the topic of being yourself. And I really want to do that because it's really important to me. Many of you are younger than me, but for those of you that are my peers or older than me and wiser and smarter than me, feel free to chime in at any point. I, in theory, understand why so many of you have asked me how to be yourself, because I do have a very strong sense of self. The idea of being yourself is an incredibly hard thing because, first of all, who the fuck am I? Maybe I would be myself if I knew who I was. Quote unquote, everyone. In your brain, you're like, all right, I know who my friend is. She's that person. I know who my mom is. She's that person. But who am I? And I believe that you become yourself every single day of your life through your choices and how you think. And that's constantly changing every day. You are different. And I hate when people say things like, oh, you haven't changed a bit. Motherfucker, that doesn't even make any sense. Maybe there are some things about me that have stayed the same. Maybe I still think cats on the internet are funny. Maybe I still like petting other people's dogs. But you are constantly changing, evolving through your experiences, how you interpret your experiences, and how you choose to do things in the future based on those experiences. To condense that a little bit, I think that being yourself means that you think with your own mind and you make your own choices. And that makes you you. That makes you an individual. That makes you different than everyone else. And the single greatest gift you could ever give the world is to be exactly who you are, and that is your whole journey here on planet Earth as a human, in the human experience. So first of all, if you don't know how to be yourself, that's okay, because maybe you don't know who you are. And based on my sort of definition of being yourself as thinking for yourself and making your own choices, to actually be yourself is an incredibly lonely thing, because there is only one of you. You are the only you that there is. You're the most rare and majestic you there ever was and ever will be. I mean, maybe there's other yous in other dimensions. Maybe your spirit was like another spirit, another you. Who knows? But for right now, in this moment, you are you and you're the only you that there is. So naturally, it is going to be very lonely sometimes to be you. When all of your friends are doing something, so I should probably do it too, is always a little bit easier to do what everyone else is doing, and that never changes throughout your whole life. It's very hard to do something completely different just because you think so, because humans are social creatures, right? We need each other. We need to feel acceptance. So that's sort of like the animal part of you that's like, okay, if I leave the pack, if I go break off and do my own thing over here, I'm in isolation. I might die because I don't have my group around me. It's a very unsure feeling. I mean, you should see Marbles. When if I take Kermit out of the house and leave Marbles, he freaks out. He thinks the pack left him. I'm gonna die. You're like the little bird that got kicked out of the nest, or you're like the little bird that's like, see you guys later, and flew out of the nest just because you're crazy. What are scary feelings in life? Being alone, doing something wrong, being embarrassed, failing. It's easier if you're in a group of people that you're doing it with to do something wrong, to fail, to feel embarrassed. If you're with other people, it somehow takes it off of you so you don't have to feel all of the feels. You only feel like a little bit of the feels. But when you break off and do something by yourself, you're scared of the isolation, the failure, the sadness, the loneliness, the embarrassment, all of those things. And the only one that's there is you. It's really fucking scary. But in order to find out who you are, you will at some point have to feel really isolated, left out, different. You know that feeling when you like cry that really ugly cry and your mouth is like a rubber band, and you like our chest breathing like that, and there's like snot coming out of your nose. And you have to feel like that. You have to feel like, am I taking crazy pills? That's how you know that you're doing it right. You have to get to that point sometimes where you're like, I'm the the only one that feels this way. I must be crazy. And so I'm just gonna keep doing it because fuck you guys. Because in my opinion, teams are great. Groups of people are great. They help you figure out who you are and what you fit into in terms of whatever. But for a lot of people, when they lose the things that they identify with, for example, if you're an athlete and then your career is over, who am I? Who the fuck am I? This thing that I identified with is no longer a part of me. Who am I? That's when you have to dig into yourself, make your own choices, think your own thoughts, do your own thing. That's when you figure out who you are. And before I even make any more of this video, I just want to share something with you because maybe you are going through one of those times right now. Maybe you have recently, maybe you will soon. But like young Jenna started doing this, I don't know how or why, but it would always make me feel so much better and I've used it ever since. Just want to tell you what it is. Whenever young, shy, scared, nervous Jenna was in one of those really sad cry like rubber band mouth, I feel so alone, I'm lonely being myself right now in a corner, little Jenna would close her eyes and imagine her future self. Stay with me. I would imagine my future self, this like older, cooler, smarter, more awesome version of myself would come down like on a spaceship and be like, hey there, little Jenna. Guess what? Everything is gonna be just fine. And you know what? You're sad right now. This sucks, but it's gonna help you be who you're supposed to be. And you have to go through this so that you can be cool, awesome future Jenna that's here. I know I say that while I'm smiling, but it is a very serious thing. And I feel like I do it all the time when I'm feeling sad or lonely and I don't know what I'm doing and don't know where I'm going. I imagine the cool, awesome future version of myself just telling my present self, it's okay. You just gotta fucking grab that giraffe by its ears and just ride it out, you know? Because if your life was all happy and awesome, like think of all the really cool musicians and like people that you look up to and think are so awesome, they would not be themselves if they didn't sit in a corner and cry about it sometimes if they felt so weird and alone. What I want you to do for the next time you're in that weird, like, I don't know who I am, or I'm trying to figure out who I am, or I'm being myself, but it feels weird. Just fucking picture your badass future self coming down and like petting you like a little kitty, saying, you know what? If you want to be cool, badass future you gotta just cry about it, okay? You gotta feel weird, because then you're gonna feel awesome someday, and everything's gonna be alright. Are you feeling this petting? It feels good, huh? And the other thing I want to say about being yourself, maybe there are some things about you that you wish were a little different. Think of someone, maybe it's your dad or someone in your community that's really kick-ass that you wish that you could be like. You know, maybe you wish you were more generous or more giving or more helpful. Just go be that. Maybe that person that you really look up to is really kind and caring and always listens to you when you have a problem. If you want to be like someone, there is nothing stopping you from modeling yourself after someone else. You don't have to be them. That's not your job in life. Your job in life is not to be someone else. You just want to be as good at being you as that person is at being them, if that makes any sense. I promise you that as weird and awful and terrible as it may seem to be yourself sometimes, it will always reward you. For example, some benefits of being yourself include, you know that the people that love you for you. They don't love you for who they think you are or who you're pretending to be. Something my mom said to me when I was a little girl. I was really upset. I think I just had a fight with a friend. I was sitting on the bathroom mat just crying and I was like, I just wish that I didn't care. And my mom looked at me and was like, you know what? I'm 45 years old, Jenna, and I still care. And if you ever figure out how to not care, tell me, because I wish I didn't care either about a lot of things. You can always care. You probably will care when you're making your own choices and doing your own thing. It hurts. That shit sucks. Some people are like, what are you doing? Like, that's so stupid. You can still care, but don't let it dictate your choices and what you want and what you want to accomplish out of life, who you want to be. Don't let anyone get in the way of that. That's being yourself. Don't ever, 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 ever give up, because you're here for a reason, even if it's just to laugh at cats on the internet. You'll figure it out. Apologize for the long, sad, sappy video if this is not the thing that you like on my channel, but I needed to make it, okay? Because it's important to me, and I just wanted to tell you that I love you, and being yourself is hard, right, Kermit? Kermit says, I only know how to be Kermit. I don't know how to be anything else. See what I mean? But make sure you subscribe to our channel. We put out videos every Wednesday. And next Thursday, July 11th, I'm going to be a guest judge on Internet Icon, if you've been following that on the Yum Yum F channel. Or if you haven't, you can catch up. I don't remember what I did. Probably something electric. Oh, boom. I love you. Zack Stone kisses. Just kidding, there were titties. Boop boop.